up, everyone? Can Ty finally control his powers? What's in the vault? And can we trust that Mina? Well, let's ask her. Time to shed some light and darkness on the Cloak and Dagger After Show right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ooh, I'm loving this.
Oh, I really like the song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, club lady.
Cloak and Dagger is just killing it with the music.
Right?
Like, we love it. Don't you love it?
So
oh
good.
my gosh. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Cloak and Dagger After Show on AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Ollie Drennan, and to my left, I have a wonderful panel in store for you and a special guest. But who do we have here?
Hey guys, I'm Karla Beltran.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Drew Jones.
It's Steph Sabra.
And who is this on our couch?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, guys.
A very familiar face. Who might you be, Miss Thing?
It's me, Ally Maki. What's up?
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We love the
excited.
show. Like, it's
I love
amazing.
you guys. I told you guys. I watch the episodes, and I know who all y'all are. And the fact that it's like bee themed, kind of.
Yes.
Very appropriate.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. And of course, we have the live stream. If you guys tuning in and you have questions for Ally, please let us know, and we will ask her those questions. Yes. We're going to get into it today, okay? So, we got our topics. We're going to talk about Tandy. We're going to talk about Tyrone. We're going to talk about Bridget. We're going to talk about Evita. And, of course, we're going to talk about our girl, Mina. And we got a shout out to our fans in the live chat. And also, we have to give you the digs on our giveaway, our very special giveaway. So, everyone, I have a quick question. Quick little icebreaker. I do these questions every single week. And, Ally, please answer this question, too.
Okay.
So, who was your childhood hero growing up? It could be like anything. Superhero. It could be like just an idol, your parents. Mine was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
That's so
What about
cute.
you, Karla?
I've always been a super duper big fan of Batman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Solid choice.
I love it. Eartha Kitt. I'm still
Yes.
very much obsessed with her.
Such a queen. Such a
Yeah,
queen.
and I mean, she voiced Yzma, so
Yes.
it's like,
One
can't
of the
beat
best.
that.
I'm gonna go into a more real person, Oprah Winfrey.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
Just as a child, I was like, whoa.
It's
who
her
is
background, like Oprah's her background on
my
her phone.
Well, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Ally?
I grew up watching Sailor Moon.
Oh, my
so
gosh.
Those are my girls, like the original superhero chicks, and they're from Japan, so it
Yes.
makes me
Yeah.
Me and Drew were talking about Sailor Moon before the show started, and I was like, I'm Team Jupiter. She's Team Mercury, right?
Mercury.
What about you?
I'm a little Mercury, I'll
Okay.
have to
Oh.
say.
Yeah. I like Mercury.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got to get on to it. Initial thoughts of just went down on episode 6, Funhouse Mirrors. What did you guys think? Because this was such a good episode. One of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I enjoyed this episode. Honestly, the beginning of the episode, I was like, oh my gosh, are Tandy and Tyrone like together? Is this happening? Like, how did this come to be? Then we find out it's not them. Very disappointing moments, but it was very exciting while it happened. And the whole episode itself, I was really excited to see Tyrone kind of be able to test his powers today and just kind of be able to go through it. And he got shot 3 times. Does that mean he died 3 times? But he can't die because I don't know. I enjoyed it so much while he was running and getting shot at, and he wasn't dying. He was just disappearing. I love the fact that we got to know Miss Hess, and the fact that she's a great person, and that she has this. I feel like her intentions are good. So I'm happy that I'm on the other side now. And Tandy is always fun to watch, see what she's doing, how she goes around everything. So I really enjoyed this episode.
Yes. Drew?
Listen, if these people don't get nominated for an Emmy, I'm rioting because this show has everything. Like the acting in this episode, first of all, was phenomenal. Tyrone, Aubrey, Joseph, you are insane. You are
That
so
ending
good.
scene kills me.
Oh my gosh, it was
us.
Olivia Holt. Give them an Emmy. But this episode was amazing. I love anytime that they really bring in New Orleans culture, and we got to see a lot of that. From the swamps to, like the voodoo and all of I loved it. And I like Mina. Mina's I'm Team Mina.
Aw,
here for
thanks,
her.
girl.
I know. And last week I wasn't Team Mina, but
I know that.
I'm
I
like,
had my
okay.
girls, and I was like, he was on my team.
I'm joining the bandwagon.
Yes.
Steph, what do you
We
think?
love science. We love the bees. We love Mina. Officially, set in stone. Just from a writing perspective of the show, it just continues to be so great. Really emotionally heightened at the end there, and I love that we get a little more insight on Roxxon and how the explosion actually happened, and bringing in the science behind it is just awesome.
Oh, totally. Like, it totally did kind of like a reference to Thor when Jane, portrayed by Natalie Portman, she said, science is just magic we don't, or magic is just science we don't understand. And it was like, I was like, oh my God, Thor!
Yes, totally.
But I also just love the show. I've been really enjoying it because I feel like it's constantly planting those seeds for you, and you like, oh my gosh, like this is total foreshadowing from like episode 3. So I'm just like, totally, you have to pay attention at all times for like to know what's going on for sure.
Well, even me, that's why I love watching like your guys' show or other like breakdowns of the episodes, because you guys will find things that even I miss, and I'm just like, dang! Like, the theories, they go so deep because it's one of those kind of shows where you kind of have to really pay attention.
The fans are loving it, and we have to get to our first topic of the week. Because this one like shook me for sure. Okay, it shook all of us, I'm sure. Our first topic is Evita and Tandy. Like, okay, they come up with this prophecy basically, and about the Divine Two, and I'm like, okay, the Divine Two, that's clearly Cloak and Dagger. That's Tyrone. That's Tandy. But one of them has to die. Like the prophecy states that. Like so. Okay, do you guys think that this prophecy is actually going to happen if it does, in fact, pertain to Tandy and Tyrone, or is it just something, is it throwing us off? What do you guys think?
First of all, I'm gonna need Marvel to stop killing people I like. I'm still mad about Infinity Wars. So I'm gonna need this not to happen. But at the same time, I feel like maybe if one of them does die, it's gonna be some type of like rebirth sort of thing.
I mean,
Fingers crossed.
it can't be Cloak and Dagger without Cloak or Dagger.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe one of them might go, but they will come back with extra powers.
Yes. I don't think they can't die. I mean, Cloak and Dagger, I feel they're the divine pair. They have to be together. I think that if they know that the storm's a brewing, maybe we can stop that, and that will be.
Because they say that they are going to, in fact, stop, like, whatever's going to come and just kind of the darkness that's coming over, like, you know, New Orleans. But I just don't know if it's kind of throwing us off or something. Ally?
Well, I
Spill
can't
the
say
beans.
anything. I'm really enjoying myself on the couch here listening to it.
But like the issue with it's not an issue with Cloak and Dagger. It's kind of cool, but there's not that many comics with Cloak and Dagger. There's maybe like 8 or 9 total. There's not a lot, and obviously they're gonna start writing them again because of the show. But it's like we don't know. For all we know, one of them could die, and then someone falls into their place. I hope not, because I love both of the actors. But like we just don't know what direction it could go in because there's not enough comic material for us to base it off of.
So that's why I love it.
Yeah.
Because it can
Exciting.
go anywhere. It's exciting, and there's such a solid cast that we don't want them to die, but if they did, I would still know that there's a reason.
Yeah, they could take it in so many ways if they wanted to. They literally get to write this comic book themselves.
I love that it's
Totally.
predictable, but not as predictable as like most Marvel shows.
Yeah, I just think, okay, if we had to choose, though, if one of them did die
No!
and come back, obviously.
Can't even do this.
Here, see no evil.
I'm going to say it.
He went there.
I'm going there. And fans, please, if you're tuning in live, chime in too, okay? And if you're not, then just keep commenting and let us know what you guys think. I would say I feel like Cloak would die and come back. That's who I would think if this prophecy does happen.
I would also agree with you. I think Cloak would die.
I have to choose. I have to.
Oh boy, like that.
I'm sorry.
I think.
Oh, this is
The
I
same
think
thing.
plot twist. What if the divine pairing isn't who we think it is? Like, what if the divine pairing is maybe
Like mayhem.
Mayhem, because Mayhem dies in the
Yes.
comics and is reborn. So what if maybe like it's too obvious for them to be the divine pairing. So maybe someone else is the divine pairing and they're
Okay.
just like assisting it. I don't know.
I'm gonna
I just don't. I just
feel
don't want
like
to
it
choose.
has to be metaphorical for me to be satisfied. I think right now we know Tandy and Tyrone. They can both die and become the Cloak and Dagger. Their real selves die, but
Their
then they
former
become their
selves.
super self.
Yes, that's very good.
Well, there's
But
a lot
only
of
one of them is
pairings
supposed to die.
in this show.
Totally.
Tons of pairings.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was a really good discussion. Got a little heated. But before we go on, Karla, you have something to tell us.
I do. I have some very exciting science stuff.
Perfect.
Science, health.
honey.
Well, first of all, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And the truth is that we have to talk about brushing our teeth wrong. Not for long. Like some of us, I mean, there's some people that brush their teeth either wrong, not for long enough, or forget to change or brush on time. And that's because most brands focus on selling flashy gimmicks rather than better brushing, but not Quip. So what makes Quip different? For starters, Quip is an electric toothbrush that comes with a built-in timer that helps you clean for the dentist recommended 2 minutes. They deliver new brush heads every 3 months for only $5, including free shipping worldwide. And if that's not enough, everyone loves Quip. They were on Oprah's O List, named one of Time's best inventions, and the first subscription electric toothbrush accepted by the American Dental Association. Plus, they're backed by a network of other 20,000 dentists and hygienists and hundreds of thousands of happy brushers use Quip every day. Quip starts at just $25, and if you get Wow, I can't speak. If you go to getquip.com/buzz right now, you'll get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. I should have done like one of those like things right before.
It's really hard.
That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/buzz, and I will spell it out for you guys because I've been like mouth wording it like the whole time. Mouth wording probably isn't a word, but here we go. It's getquip.com/buzz. BUZZ.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Karla. I know that
I'm so sorry. I kept wanting to say quit and quick and quit. I was just
No, it's totally fine.
was a lot.
I know that live read was aimed towards me because I need to brush my teeth more. No. Thank you so much for that. I
didn't have the
definitely
heart to tell you.
I need to get on that for sure because I need to replace my toothbrush for sure.
Well,
Absolutely.
electric toothbrushes are like awesome, and then one that has an electric timer because sometimes you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, so this
Brush your
one's
teeth
perfect.
for like 30 seconds. That's
yeah,
not okay. That's not
definitely.
Right. Well, our next topic is kind of goes hand in hand. We're going to talk about Tyrone and then Bridget. So first off, we got to talk about our boy Tyrone. And what I really love about Tyrone is that I know he has the strength within him to like do to succeed, but he definitely needs that push. And I love that Tandy is that character to give him that push. And we definitely saw it. She's like, Tandy's the queen of the conning people. Mm-hmm. So it's time for Tyrone to start conning people, and he needs to get in that little drug world we got going on. So, what did we think of Ty in this episode? Because he went through it for sure, and I felt bad for him.
I thought it was brave for him to kind of go through everything he needed to go through, and it was a little bit in the beginning. We were all a little bit worried, probably because we thought maybe he shouldn't be doing this because this is the wrong people. And then especially because now his friend's brother passed due to like the misunderstanding that clearly is going on. So I enjoyed seeing Tyrone kind of go through it and really get to test his powers and see everything that he's capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Tyrone in this episode. I feel like he continues to grow as a character and his strength and his mental strength, especially because I feel like that's what Cloak struggles with the most. I love that he was able to confront Dwayne because clearly he knew his brother got shot by a cop and now is working with this dirty cop.
Yeah.
And that's enraging to me. I would literally throat punch him on sight. But I just love that we're in the end scene with him where he's just crying is one of like the best scenes I've seen on television. Like straight up, it was beautiful and sad.
Yeah. What I love about this show is it touches on topics that are very real, like within the Black community, that I feel like aren't necessarily displayed on TV a lot. And especially like with New Orleans. New Orleans is a city of survivors. My mom's from New Orleans, so like when Katrina happened and everything, like that was devastating to like her and her family and stuff. And so when they're talking about it being a city of survivors and whatever you put out comes back and how justice is for white people, it was like a lot of harsh truths, but I really love how Cloak and Dagger handles it. And I love that Dwayne, the character Dwayne, isn't just a black or white character. He's very much in the gray area. Like he's not, you can get mad at him because like he's working with this crooked cop, but then you also have to put yourself in the situation like what else would have happened? You know, like was he like, had he gone and told the truth, would he have ended up like Billy? Like you kind of, it's one of those like, yeah, obviously in an ideal world he should have spoke up and justice for Billy, but that's not something that's often gifted to that community. And so you have to, I like that they painted it so many different ways and you kind of don't really have a place that you can.
Yeah, he's not a one-dimensional character.
Yeah.
Can I give a shout out to Jay Holtham?
Yes.
Who co-wrote the episode, and so much of that was from his experiences and with his brother and everything.
Okay.
So
I did not know that.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
yeah, I was just with them, and like it's an emotional thing every time we watch the episode, and every time we see it. It's so near and dear to their hearts as well.
Totally.
Insanely well done. And then just him crying at the end, I was like, he did the ugly cry, and that's
my God.
I was like, award.
But he still looks beautiful.
yeah,
Which I'm like, it's not
I
fair.
know. I was like, okay, dumb.
It's that jawline. He can't look unattractive. He's beautiful.
Aubrey Joseph, I can't with him. He's a star.
Yeah, but I really like. I'm becoming such a big fan of him because his character is finally learning how to deal with his powers and to teleport. He was getting shot at, and he was like, "Oh my god, he was dodging these bullets."
Oh my gosh.
But I definitely still feel bad for Tyrone because he's constantly getting like through these horrible situations. He's losing people. He lost Billy, and now he lost Dwayne. Despite Dwayne, you know, you said it the best. Like Dwayne is this great character, and so many people are. You can kind of say Tandy's kind of a great character too because she's like stealing, but she's just stealing back what was taken from her. And this brings us to Bridget O'Reilly, who's kind of another great character.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And she's doing coke. She's, you know, she's just trying to get closer to Connors, but I feel like she's doing it with good intention. At least I hope so. You know, because I want her to become mayhem somehow or shape or form. So what did you guys think of the scene where Connors told Dwayne to shoot Bridget? I thought, okay, Bridget's gone. She's a goner. So, but then Dwayne got shot.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a-
because she's a bad mamma jamma. You cannot pull up on her. She will pull up on you first.
It's a win. Bad name, my mom says. It's a win-win if you think about it. If Bridget would have died, then cool, that's a cop that was hot on the trail that's out of the way. But if Dwayne dies, then you have the connect or whatever that's gone. So I think Connors is a really smart villain.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he kind of, like, sees 4 steps ahead. So I think it was a win-win situation for him.
I had a question. Is Connors in the comic book, is he a villain that is in disguise that we might not know about, that we know about?
That's a good question.
I've tried to figure this out. I can't figure out what character he could be in the comics, but you guys in the chat, if you guys have any ideas, let us know.
I think he's like a combination of like a couple of Marvel characters in general, not necessarily just in the Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
You know, like
I feel
realm.
like the scar makes him a evil villain that we should maybe
See,
know
I wasn't even
about.
thinking about this. I thought he was just a character specifically created for the show.
Yeah.
So, but he could possibly be incognito as a different character. So that's a very
that would
good.
be
That's a very
interesting.
good point you bring up.
Very interesting.
But in the chat, Just Ricky said, I blame O'Reilly for most of the mess, which is, I mean, she was doing a great job, but she is also being kind of like
Messy.
Tandy, a little bit reckless
Yeah.
to get the end result.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention this. When Tyrone, he was able to kind of like one of the drug runners, he was kind of able to like put his fears on him. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And so
yes.
now he can kind of like scare people away and kind of, to his benefit.
Well,
That was really cool.
Yeah, because it the touches in the comics. The longer you're in the darkness, like the more
Yes.
mentally unhinged you become, and so it was cool to see that particular part of his power. It's cool to
Yeah.
see that actually played out because it's one thing to imagine it when you're reading it, but
Yes.
to actually see it like visually, because it was a very weird fear.
Yeah.
kinda-
Yeah.
And I was waiting. It was like, kind of like clown fear.
It
but
looked
I was,
like the spirits of the way Ghost. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Freddy Krueger.
It kind of looks like that.
Yes.
That
But it was cool that he was able to do that because we've only been knowing him to see the fears, but to able to like put those fears to his benefit, that was awesome. So I'm just like, yes, Ty finally getting his powers on track. Yes, absolutely.
You guys know what I thought was going to happen, or hopefully what I hoped was going to happen, and I don't know how I thought this was going to happen, but I thought it. So, talking about like O'Reilly, I honestly think I give her a thumbs up for being so brave about like the way that she's handling this. Yes, it's a little messy, and I do worry for her a little bit because I feel like Connors is pretty much like behind her already. So and you can kind of tell that he is, because when he's like asking her if you want to go to for a ride or let's catch him tonight, when he said let's catch him tonight, you already know you don't want to be there. Like, make sure you had dinner plans, something prepared for you not to be able to go, because once he offered her, I knew that it wasn't going to go well. But going to where I was hoping would happen is I thought that Tyrone was actually going to somehow use his cloak powers and run and like save O'Reilly by taking her like to her fears. I don't know if that's like if when you touch the person you both disappear from that place that you're at.
He can travel.
Or
with
He'll
people.
eventually be able to do that.
Or no,
okay.
he can only travel with Dagger. Dagger's the only one who's not affected, in the comics at least, by traveling with him through like the darkness or whatever. Other people are affected by it though.
But he would have been able to take her out of the scene, right?
Technically, yeah.
So he would have saved her.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I thought was going to happen. Clearly that did not happen, but that's what I was hoping for.
I think we needed to see him have like his, because if you think about it, Tandy's powers were triggered kind of by like her hope that she could find some sort of justice or whatever with what happened with her dad. Like, she figured out she needed to be on that breaking point, but it was based out of hope that hopefully this works. I think Tyrone had to go, like, had to hit rock bottom, had to hit despair for him to trigger his. And so it's almost like reliving your brother's death because you're watching your brother's best friend die.
Yeah.
So I knew like it had something bad, like really bad had to happen, but it was just really hard to watch.
Yeah. Because finally it's his fears that are like triggering his powers.
Yeah.
Definitely. Even when Tandy pushed him off last episode, like that's what triggered his powers.
Yeah.
Now we got to get to the meat of the episode.
Yes.
The meat and potatoes.
Yes. We got Tandy, but we got Mina in this episode. And I love seeing these two like work together because they're so smart. All these characters in this show are very smart.
Yeah.
And how this was like the first time that I think Tandy kind of got like conned a little bit because you like you read her, you already knew like you're lying, like you're doing a good job, but I totally got you. Like,
She's like one step ahead of her.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like you first see it when they talking about the colony collapse disorder.
Yes.
And I love that moment. It was just, it's so great. You see these two girls that are just firing.
Yeah.
When you asked, I was like, you know this.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you read my master's thesis.
How was filming that specific scene when you're in the water?
Oh my gosh. That was hands down the greatest scene experience I'll ever probably have in my life. It was an emotional experience. It was so intimate, and even though it was like in this great expanse of like filming in the swamp, it just felt like it was just Olivia and I, and in our own like world, and it was so beautiful. So basically, they built these like little tracks so we could walk through it or whatever and not drown, obviously. And we had these giant waders on it. Nola, it's like 100% humidity.
Yeah.
And we had these like big like plastic rubber pants on, so we're just like so hot. But beyond that, I mean, everything we were speaking about was so important that after the first take, our director Jennifer and our writer Jenny Klein like ran out from Video Village, and they just had tears in their eyes because they were like, just seeing this image on TV or what it's going to be is incredible to watch. Two young females, strong, brilliant females talking about science and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is like incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
And we all felt that. It was like
Yes.
all females on set just like holding each other, just crying about it. I mean, it's similar to like when I watched Wonder Woman and just seeing those images, like I was like had this visceral emotional response, like why am I crying right now? But it's because we don't see those images all the time, and they're really powerful.
And I love the talking about the bee Arthur, and how like the bee to me kind of represented like that ray of hope. You know, it's just looking for that bee, and like Mina and Tandy are looking for the bee, or they're looking for that ray of hope, that answer that they can't find. You know,
And the bee represents so much. I mean, essentially, like our creator said that, you know, looking for the bee, that was the thing that Mina did with her dad every day. That was the thing. They go out looking for the bee, and then over time, they gradually disappeared. And, you know, you see that with, like, New Orleans and the whole thing of survival. It's like you see these things coming back, like with colony collapse disorder and the bees, and it's just this whole thing of, like, revival and resilience. And filming in NOLA is like you feel that all around you. It's like the minute you touch down, you feel these people and their hopes and coming back, which was really cool.
Yeah, and I thought it was beautiful. What's the scene that stood out to me that like pissed me off was it when Stan the man called Mina a bitch, and I'm like that speaks so highly of just like the workplace and how men can treat women and just call them a bitch, you know, and it's like. I was really happy. Like, clearly, I was sad that Mina had to go through that, but I was happy that they incorporated that. And I love seeing Tandy slash the tires.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I was like, yes, girl
power.
Absolutely. And I really think that this is a really beautiful friendship that is kind of unfolding, and I really want it to stay. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I'm like, no, we need these characters together. What is the chat saying about...
They all hated Stan.
Oh,
they all hated Stan. But they loved the relationship between you and Tandy. I feel like that was really felt through the screen.
Are there any questions for Ally at the moment?
At the moment, they were mainly, was there a lot of bloopers between you? How was filming those scenes? Like the connection between you and Tandy?
Bloopers, I don't know so much, but because most of our scenes are pretty emotional and heavy. But I mean, the moment I met that girl, it's like Olivia, I feel like she's like a soul sister. Like I just felt we felt this like kindred spirit connection, and I couldn't ask for like a better person to be doing this with. Because I feel like everything you see is real. We do care about these things, and we felt such a responsibility when we're doing these scenes to make them good and make them real and from our hearts, because it truly does mean a lot to both of us, I think. So I'm so grateful to have that girl. Oh my gosh. Because, like, sometimes you never know when you're walking onto a new set as, like, the guest, you're like, is anyone going to talk to me? Like, I'm a new girl, like, sitting alone at lunch, but, like, just everyone involved was so wonderful, and, like, and she's a special girl.
And there was the end scene where she came to visit you and your dad in the hospital, and how she was going to touch you at first back at the swamp. Yeah. But then she didn't. Yeah. And, like, I was like, oh, you know, she going to touch you afterwards, but she still didn't touch you. She ended up touching your dad, and then she found the vault, and now she needs to, from what I'm getting, I wonder what's in the vault, and I want
to know your guys' theories on the vault and why she couldn't kind of access his...
Because it's his deepest fear.
Yeah, I thought it was, his trauma. So
she needs someone to help her get into the vault, right?
I feel like it's like that movie or there's some movie I feel like where you have to keep playing the game. We saw it, like you keep playing the game over and over again. Happy Death Day. So until he breaks the like what happened, what went wrong, he's gonna stay in this.
Mine was Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, that's what that was based on.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know I'm skipping ahead, but that preview for next episode.
Oh my gosh,
there's some fight. I saw some fight scenes.
Yeah, and Tim Kang is awesome. I was like so excited when I saw. I was like, he's playing my dad. Like that's dope. He's cool.
I feel like Tandy not choosing to like check into your fears was like the first sign that we've seen of Tandy like legitimately trust somebody.
Yeah.
Besides like Tyrone, because obviously Tyrone's in it with her. Like, but I feel like outside of that pairing, Mina's the first person that she's just like, okay, like, you get it. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think she's going to reveal her powers yet. That could be a thing.
Wait, Mina's power?
No. Tandy.
Mina has the power of science.
Yeah.
There you go, girl.
But I just thought that was a huge character development for Tandy to see her trust. And it shows that as Tyrone, like, because we've seen very obvious progression with Tyrone. Yeah. So it's like, but I think with Tandy, you have to look out for the subtle things. And that was something that I was like, okay,
I think she needed that push. Like, she was pushing Tyrone, but she needed Mina to push her. Yeah. And also, she can see herself. She can relate to Mina. They can relate to one another because of the loss that they faced from Roxanne. So we got to get to our special segment of the week, and it's a character corner. Usually we do a comic book character, but we have a very special guest. So we have Ally Maki with us, so we're gonna dedicate this character corner all to her and Mina this week. So let's do it. We got some questions. We got a little quick.
First
fun
of all,
game.
thank you for saying my name right. Because you didn't even ask, but most people just say Maki. So
yeah.
I appreciate that you said it right, and you didn't even have to ask. I love that.
We appreciate you so much. Thanks again. We can't thank you enough for being here.
Of course, it's so fun.
This is so fun. So you're known for the most part for Wrecked as Jess, and that's super funny, comedic. How is it transitioning from comedy to something that's pretty serious?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I think it's fun because on Wrecked, especially this season, you'll get a little tease, but we're going full Hunger Games. So Jess gets to kind of be, I did so many stunts this season, and she's kind of a strong female character in her own right. And so you have Mina, and I just feel so grateful to be able to play two strong, confident women in two very different ways, whether it be comedy or drama. I mean, I try to pull as much from my own experiences in life as possible. So although they are such different genres, I feel like they're not that crazy different.
Yeah,
so,
that's really cool.
And the thing with Wrecked is we have to play it so real. We almost try and play it as a drama because it doesn't, the stakes are so high. It works better when you play it as realistically as possible.
I love it.
Very nice.
So, was Mina being such a strong character what drew you to? What drew you to Mina Hess?
Well, the thing is Marvel's so secretive. When I first got the audition, I didn't even know what it was. So I feel so grateful that it was what it was. And I think if I had known, kind of who she was and what the character was going to become, I would have gotten really nervous.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, they didn't even say her name was Mina on the sides. It said Cindy or something like that. It was so super secretive. And even down to the last minute, I didn't even get scripts until I was getting on the plane. And I was literally landing in New Orleans, still reading the end on my phone, what?
Do I have to be off book?
Yeah, and I'm oh, okay. And I mean, it's just such an honor. I can't ask for a better part. So I'm super stoked.
On the topic of just getting this role in general, we talked a little bit about, if you guys don't know, that Ally is Japanese. I'm 25% Japanese.
I can't believe it.
Seeing you on screen in a Marvel show is just we don't have, I don't think, a Japanese actress or actor in
Japanese American
actor in Marvel. So is that part of just being a strong female character, but being the Japanese American character as well? How does that feel?
Oh my, it's just mind blowing to me. And I say this, but when I went to the audition, what was really special is I think 5 years ago, this part would have gone to someone like me. But I think we're making strides. When you hear Hess, you immediately think, maybe not someone that looks like me. But when I went to the audition, what was really, really cool is every girl there looked completely different from each other. Every single type of different girl. And that was what was so cool is we're finally making some strides in colorblind casting and diverse casting. And I think Marvel has really made an effort to work towards that. I mean, you have to make it a priority, and I think they are. So, which is really cool. I mean, a lot of people just say "Oh, it's important, let's do it," but they're actually actively working towards that.
I mean, look at Iron Fist with I forget the actress that plays Colleen.
And Jamie Chung.
Jamie Chung in The Gifted. Louis Tan was just in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
And look at the cast of Runaways. This is one of the reasons why I love Runaways. And we have Lyrica who does one of the she does Nico. That cast is phenomenal. Renzi who does Alex. And so I really think Marvel is really stepping it up with the representation. I think it's so important because you want kids and even adults like myself to look at a cast and be able to relate to them on not only just the mentally but also physically. It helps. It really it's empowering as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that she's an environmental engineer on top of that is really cool because that's inspiring a whole nother pocket of girls that are maybe just having an interest in science or maybe just wanting to pursue a career in something and are, you know, going into the workspace and seeing, oh, it's all dudes. I don't feel that great anymore. But seeing more characters like this, you know, hopefully they'll be like, oh, I do belong, which is cool and really important.
Yeah. Mina belonged there out in the swamps and not Stan. You know,
Stan needs to go back in the AC.
Yes, I was so glad when he got that mosquito bite. I'm like, I hope that itches.
And what's funny is he was the nicest guy ever. I always find that a lot of people, like, people are really good at playing the opposite of what they're on. Like, so he was such a nice person.
What? Because Mina isn't a character that's in the comics or anything like that. So what are some? You really got to kind of create who she was, basically. Like, what are some pieces of yourself that you feel like you really tried to put in the character?
Well, I can't really take credit for all of it because Jenny Klein, who wrote it, I mean, it is her. It is coming like from her heart and her soul. Like that is her is in a nutshell. And she did so much research on bees and colony collapse, and it was so important that this character really make a difference. But I think for me, what I could bring is, I mean, I just love that she's so well-rounded. I mean, she's vulnerable, but she's really smart, and she's got this whole thing with her dad and this female friendship. Like, I mean, I love that she's just your normal girl who just happens to be, you know, living in this world. But it was really special for me to play like a well-rounded character.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to start asking all of our guests this question, but you're our first. So you are our guinea pig. So when people get touched by Tandy and Tyrone, we see their hopes and we see their fears. So if we were to see Tandy and Tyrone touch you, Ally, what would be some hopes and fears that we might possibly see?
Oh my gosh.
Any phobias?
Irrational,
irrational fears.
It's okay if they're weird. I have weird phobias.
I hate answering the phone.
I hate sloths.
You hate sloths?
I do. They freak me out.
Oh my gosh. Fears, I'm not great with water. So I think like being in open water alone. There's clips of me when I was little at swimming school or whatever, and it would be on the diving board, and you see me just going to the back of the line every time, like, no, you go ahead, because I didn't want to jump off the diving board, and I don't know what that is, but I'm not a water baby.
Aww,
That's fair. And then your hope.
Hope is, I think just what's happening in the industry is just so important to me because I grew up in the industry. I moved here when I was 14 to pursue a career that I didn't even know existed for me, but I was just a kid that really just had a dream and a passion for acting, and it's the only thing I really know. And once I kind of saw the limitations of where I could go with it, it was really disheartening, and I don't want that for the future generation. I want everyone to feel like there's a place for them, and so it is intensely close to my heart. And but I think we're making great strides. So
we love it.
Can you just come every week? I just got so inspired. I was like, yeah, for sure.
Why should you try to make me cry?
I know. I was like,
but same with you guys. I mean, it's so cool that you guys are a whole diverse panel as well. I mean, it's freaking cool, guys. It is cool, and I want to know what your family background. Like, I have to know more about this. Like,
yes. Do you know? Well, we'll get into it after.
Okay, fine. I want to know now.
What I want to know is if you had to choose, would you want to see people's fears or their hopes?
Hopes.
Okay.
I think it would just be like, so
depressing to see all their fears.
That'd be too heavy for sure.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Since you're a part of the MCU now, if you had to be on a team, Team X-Men, Team Avengers, which one?
Oh, Avengers.
Okay.
But I love me some X-Men.
they're recruiting right now.
I know, but the Avengers are really cool.
Did you have a favorite episode to shoot for this season?
Probably this one, for sure. It was my first kind of big one, and just shooting the stuff in the swamp and everything, and just the connection with Olivia and everything is something I'll never forget. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
And you told us earlier you're going to Comic-Con. Is there anything you're like excited to see? Because it's our first year going too. So, like, what are you excited to go see while you're there?
Everything. Just like the whole experience, because last year Rect had a float there, like outside. So I went to that, but I was just looking from afar, like I didn't go inside, and I just wonder like what's behind those doors. I just want to see all the cosplaying.
Yes.
I just love it all. It's so fun.
I hope there's some Cloak and Dagger cosplay for sure.
Yes.
Oh man, I hope so.
Definitely.
I was texting with, or tweeting with Chloe from S.H.I.E.L.D. because we're old friends, and we were like, okay, I'll cosplay as you and you cosplay as me. So I was like, okay, get your waiters ready, girl, because that's my cosplay.
Your little backpack and cookies. That
Oh,
would be
yeah,
a good
yeah.
cosplay.
Those
There you
cookies,
go.
were those cookies good? Because they looked so
They were
good.
so
I was like,
good.
I don't know where they got
But
those.
did
They
you
were
actually
those.
make those cookies?
Oh, me?
Yes, because I want some cookies.
Oh no!
gotta give me the recipe.
Like, I am not a good baker. You don't want me to bake cookies. I'll burn them.
Well, I'm not a good baker either. Well, is there anything else you can tell us without spoiling anything? Because we know Marvel's watching.
I know.
Anything, any tidbits about the future of Mina? Anything. Be vague.
Oh,
You can be
man.
Or favorite behind the scenes moments.
vague. Or is there something you want to happen as a fan, not as an actor? A very talented actor, by the
Oh
way.
my gosh. Well, I'll have to say, I'll keep it vague, but where Tandy and Mina started out, their relationship it goes through a change.
Okay.
So.
That's all right.
Awesome.
Ooh, that'll be good
We
for
kind
predictions.
of knew that their relationship would continue to flow in some sort of
And it
direction.
could
Yeah,
be, it could be good or
as
bad.
any friendship does.
Does,
I
yeah.
mean,
All right.
you know.
This show's doing such a good job of making like so many dimensions to
Yeah.
relationships and individuals.
Yeah.
totally.
Absolutely. Do you want to give us some fan shout-outs from the chat?
Oh
Steph?
yes.
Please shout that one out.
Haywood Wong, we see you. He said, "Hey panel, hope there's a lot of deodorant at Comic-Con," which I've heard is an
That's
issue.
true.
They give out so much stuff, but not deodorant.
We went to a Dallas Fan Fest thing, and I walked in and I was like, this smells exactly like I thought it would.
Also, nerd flu is a real thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
I'm
Look it
scared.
up.
That's
Look it up.
hilarious.
Oh my god. Okay, we got Star Drew. Sorry I missed you last week. You
Great
rock.
name.
Ghost 8386, Aaron Robinson, Nicholas Kelly, Ivan Soto, Chanel Tart Minor, Billie Jean Girl 24. And there's so many of you guys. You guys make this so fun every week. We love chatting with you. But the chat doesn't have to stop here. You guys know that you can reach us all on Twitter.
Yep.
Which you do.
Comment on the YouTube episode after. We love to stay engaged with you guys even after we stop filming this episode.
Absolutely. And also, we don't have news this week because we had our special guest.
She is the news.
We have a very special giveaway. This Cloak and Dagger special first
I
miniseries.
want that. That's so cool.
And Allie signed it, and I'm not
Yes.
going to show you what it says, but
Secret message.
it's amazing, and it's everything I needed her to sign in this book. So, hope you win. I don't
Yes,
know.
and
I did it for you.
If you want to win it, you guys got to keep tuning in every single week. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Or if you're that Android life, that's totally fine. Leave us a 5-star review on comments on YouTube. And we're going to pull live on the season finale a name from one of the reviewers. So you got to give us a review. And the
We've
winner...
got guests, man.
We got guests, and the
Yeah,
guests
we
are going to
do.
continue to sign that comic. So if you want to win it, give us the reviews because we love it, but it has to be 5-star. So
5-star or nothing.
5-star only.
That's the asterisk.
only a requirement.
Must be 5 stars.
But yes,
hilarious.
and then obviously send us your information, and we will send that to your address for the winner.
And we'll show up as well and have dinner.
Yeah, and we'll be
have
there.
dinner with your family.
Absolutely. Allie, you're coming too. Sorry.
Oh, perfect.
Allie's coming to dinner as well.
Awesome.
Well, this leads us to our last segment, and that is predictions.
Oh.
AfterBuzz TV.
Get those predictions ready.
Oh, man.
Oh man. Okay. I'm like hyperventilating. Who wants to go first?
I already have my prediction.
Go for it, Karla.
So excited.
Okay, first of all, my prediction is I think O'Reilly's really not gonna make it through the next 2 episodes. I feel like she's
You really
gonna
want her
be
to
go. I feel like she's just gonna be gone because she's playing the wrong card. She's not playing it smart. If she should have known that Connors was already behind her. Like, he already knows what she's planning, and he wants to get rid of her, and she should have known that once he said, like, let's go get this guy. This is our only chance to go get him. So I have a feeling that she's going to be unfortunately leaving us soon, but hopefully coming back with some powers. We'll see about that. And then what was my next? My next prediction has to do with Mina's dad. I feel like Cloak and Dagger are totally going to be able to help him break through. We're going to be able to get out of his fears and hopefully see his hopes while we're in there. And I think it'll be really exciting for hopefully Tyrone will be able to see the hopes as well. And I think that's probably where he will recharge with what happened this week. Okay. So yeah, that's some predictions at large.
Those are spicy. Spicy. I'm still kind of holding out for Riley to be like their Gordon. Like,
ooh.
Okay.
You know, like I think
yes,
she's not necessarily gonna dig what they're doing because she's like, leave it to the police. But she's also gonna be like, okay, whatever. Go do it, you know? Yeah. But I think next episode, I'm so excited. We got to see the preview before we walked in here.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get Ivan, that's his name, right? Ivan Hess? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to get him out of his, like...
State.
His state.
That'd be awesome.
And they're going to be able to, like you said, like, break the cycle and beat whatever's going on in his mind.
He has the answers.
Yeah. And I'm so excited to see them, like, really... Because Tandy was doing the thing in the preview. She was slicing and dicing like she's Gordon Ramsay. And I was here for it. So, I'm ready.
Okay, those are really great. I think that it's going to be really... Things are going to heat up between Tyrone and Connors because now Connors has seen him twice. I feel like he saw him when he shot at him and missed, or like didn't miss, but he teleported. And then now he was able to see a little bit of him. So I think it's going to start coming to light what's happening. So that's going to get a little saucy in there. And I think with Auntie Clarice, we're going to get a little more development on the divine pairing.
I love
Yeah.
that.
All right. I'm not sure how I feel about Evita. I feel like, I don't know if she's a plot device. I don't know if she's going to turn into a villain. Like, I just don't know what to read her because I feel like she knows too much and she has connection to voodoo, but is it a good thing?
Evita. No one knows.
I can't read her.
She's a mystery character.
I will say her edges were laid.
Yeah.
This
She
episode.
looks so
Oh my
cute.
gosh,
She
she
looks
looks so
in this
cute.
episode.
Listen, this is a little side note, but it's so nice to see Black actresses on TV have good hairstylists. And I was like, yes, her edges are laid. Her hair looks good. This is so refreshing. I literally yelled it at the TV.
Yeah.
But
She looks so cute.
you doing the thing, girl.
Yeah,
So
She is.
She just seemed so just badass, like throughout her scenes with her auntie, and like the aunt was just like, I feel like she doesn't really like Tyrone, so I just don't know. I don't know.
Women are killing it in the ambiguous, like, we don't know what side you're playing, but you probably know way more than everyone.
Yeah, but I'm afraid of that Connors because he's smart. We got a smart villain, but so we have smart characters, but we have to also have a smart villain that's outsmarting Bridget, and I'm just kind of like, oh my god. But I think they are, like, I totally agree that they're gonna get Mina's dad out of the state, but something bad's gonna happen by doing that. Because we got assassins, okay? Greg was killed, so I'm fearful for her dad, Mina's dad, because we got assassins.
no, yo.
I will
don't
say,
know.
Joe Pikaski on another after show said, you haven't seen the last of that assassin. He said that, so that's not me.
And was that a female assassin?
Yeah, she had a pony.
She for sure had some hair.
She whipped that after she.
She's queer eye.
It's Ariana Grande.
It's Van Dyke. It's JVN.
Spoiler alert. It's JVN.
I would die.
my gosh.
I would live and then I die.
He's like, yes, queen, have to assassinate you.
Well, I know Ally can't really give her predictions.
I know.
But
I was
is
like, I'll
there-
predict Marvel will end me if I say anything.
But is there anything else you want to say about the show before we start to wrap up?
No, I'm such a big fan of you guys, and I'm
Aw.
so excited. Like, this is fun for me to listen to what you guys think and like what your fans think, because it could go anywhere. Like you said, I mean, and that's what's so exciting about this show.
I love how we each kind of have like a different theory
Yeah.
too. Like every week.
Like, even how you were split on my character last week, that was so fun for me, because I was like, that's so cool. Because this show is so much the shades of gray, and it's so that's relatable though, because not everyone is just distinctly evil or good. You know,
Yeah.
there's so much, especially right now in our political climate, like there's so much shades of gray. So.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Speak on it.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, well, we have to start to wrap up. Unfortunately, it's that time of week.
No.
Is there anything last in the chat to ask Ally before we start leaving?
No, they're just really excited about. I mean, they've had a few questions, but we've covered a lot about what the questions were, and she can't give too much information.
I
of
know.
what-
I'm sorry, guys.
Personally, I'm just stalling us. So, but that's
But maybe we'll get more during Comic-Con. So
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
we're gonna have
baby.
more episodes out by then. Well, guys, we have to say farewell. Ally, where can we find you on social media? And is there anything else you want to plug before we leave?
No, I mean, you guys pretty much covered it, but I'm at Ally Maki.
On Twitter and Instagram, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
There you go.
And Karla.
Hey guys, I'm your host Karla Beltran. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran or on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end.
And I'm Drew Jones. You can follow me on all the things at OKDrewJ, and you can check out my new podcast called The Curve at okdrewj.com because I'm
It's so
official.
good. It's
Yes.
so good. I had some controversy with her Drake comments. I let her know already. But it's so good. I'm Steph's Abroad. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Steph's Abroad. Maybe I'll guest on her show.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey guys, I'm Oliver Drennan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. You can check me out on Horror Movie News on Tuesdays on the Popcorn Talk Network. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Yes, thank
We
you.
really
This was so
appreciate it.
nice.
This isn't the end. You're coming back, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yes.
But thank you guys for tuning in live. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.